Giraffe. Hello guys. The giraffe is an African artiodactyl mammal, the tallest living terrestrial animal, and one of the largest ruminants. Let's learn about this tall animal. Etymology. The name giraffe has its earliest known origins in the Arabic word. The Arab name is translated as fast walker. Camelopard is an archaic English name for the giraffe. It derives from the ancient Greek camel and leopard, referring to its camel-like shape and leopard-like coloration. Appearance and anatomy. Fully grown giraffes stand 4.3 to 5.7 meters tall, with males taller than females. The tallest recorded male was 8.88 meters, and the tallest recorded female was 5.17 meters tall. The average weight is 1,192 kilograms for an adult male and 828 kilograms for an adult female. Despite its long neck and legs, the giraffe's body is relatively short, located at both sides of the head. The giraffe's large, bulging eyes give it good all-round vision from its great height. Giraffes see in color, and their senses of hearing and smell are also sharp. The animal can close its muscular nostrils to protect against sandstorms and ants. The giraffe's prehensile tongue is about 45 centimeters long. It is purplish black in color, perhaps to protect against sunburn, and is useful for grasping foliage as well as for grooming and cleaning the animal's nose. The upper lip of the giraffe is also prehensile and useful when foraging, and is covered in hair to protect against thorns. The tongue and inside of the mouth are covered in papillae. Skin. The coat design of giraffes is one of their most striking features. According to the species, the kind of pattern varies, but besides that, each giraffe has a unique and unrepeatable pattern of spots that get darker with age but never change their design. The skin of the giraffes had a characteristic smell that repels insects and parasites, and the dark parts also function as a thermoregulation system. Brown, dark orange, light brown, and beige are the primary colors in the coats of giraffes. Skull and occiput. Both sexes have prominent horn-like structure called occipits, which are formed from ossified cartilage, covered in skin and fused to the skull at the parietal bones. The occipits may have a role in thermoregulation and are also used in combat between males. Appearance is a reliable guide to the sex or age of a giraffe. The occipits of females and young are thin and display tufts of hair on top, whereas those of adult males end in knobs and tend to be bald on top. However, as males age, their skulls become heavier and more club-like, helping them become more dominant in combat. The upper jaw has a grooved palate and lacks front teeth. The giraffes molar have a rough surface. Neck. The long and powerful neck of giraffes is their most characteristic feature, measuring up to 6.5 feet in length and formed by 7 cervical vertebrae as in other mammals, including the human being, but with the difference that each of the vertebrae has a large size reaching up to 11 inches. This elongation largely takes place after birth, perhaps because giraffe mothers would have a difficult time giving birth to young with the same neck proportions as adults. The giraffe's head and neck are held up by large muscles and a strengthened nuchal ligament, which are anchored by long dorsal spines on the anterior thoracic vertebrae, giving the animal a hump. The legs of a giraffe are very long, thin, but incredibly powerful. That is what they use for protection against predators. While they can run up to 35 miles per hour, they can't do it for very long. What is interesting is that they move both legs on the same side at the same time when walking. However, when galloping, they move the 2 front legs and then the 2 back ones. Different types of giraffe food. Giraffes are browsers and herbivores. This means that they eat vegetation off the ground, and follow a strictly plant-based diet. While their long necks limit them in many ways, their length also provides easy access to a variety of tree-top nutrition. Giraffes eat a combination of leaves, seeds, buds, and branches, and sometimes even grass. Their favorite trees to snack on are acacia and mimosa trees. The tall animals eat these plants as they are easy to reach. How much does a giraffe eat? As you can imagine, it takes a lot of plant matter to provide energy for an animal the size of a giraffe. They can weigh a whopping 1,200 kilograms. To fuel its daily activities, a giraffe can eat up to 34 kilograms of food each day. However, they only need to eat about 15 kilograms per day to survive. In fact, giraffes spend the majority of their daily routine eating, munching on a few leaves at a time. It is no wonder that giraffes choose to take their time chewing. How do giraffes drink? While eating is fairly easy for giraffes, drinking poses a different problem. Their extra long necks present an interesting challenge when dipping down to hydrate themselves. Rather than bending their necks to the watering hole, giraffes play their legs and bend their knees to reach the water. Luckily for the giraffe, this amusing activity is only needed every few days. The primary reason that giraffes don't need to drink as much as other animals has a direct correlation with the plants they ingest. The tall trees that fill with the bellies of giraffes have deep roots and hydrate the animals while they munch. Reproduction of the giraffe. The largest and strongest males fight with one another for supremacy. The male that can chase off all others will mate with the receptive female. After breeding, females have a gestation period of 400 to 460 days. The calf enters the world via 6 feet drop to the ground and can stand and run within hours of birth. Nursing can last anywhere from 1 month to 1 year, depending on the mother. Cooperative care of young. Multiple female giraffes and their calves often gather in nursery herds, which move and eat together. These herds practice cooperative care of young, whereby a mother might leave her calf to be cared for by the herd, whilst she forages or drinks elsewhere. This form of care is also seen in a number of other mammal species, including lions, spotted hyenas, and banded mongooses. Giraffe predators and threats. Despite being the tallest land animal in the world, the giraffe is actually preyed upon by a number of large carnivores that co-inhabit the dry savanna. Lions are the primary predators of the giraffe. Lions use the strength of the whole pride to catch their victim. But giraffes are also preyed upon by leopards and hyenas. Giraffes rely on the vast open plains so that they can have the best view possible of the surroundings. But if a predator does get too close, giraffes kick their attacker with their large, heavy feet to defend themselves. Young calves, however, are much more vulnerable and rely on the protection of their mother and the herd. Sadly though, around 50% of young giraffes do not make it past the age of 6 months due to predation. All giraffes are also threatened by hunting from humans, with populations having completely disappeared from certain areas. Interesting facts about giraffes. Giraffes are ruminants. This means that they have more than one stomach. In fact, giraffes have 4 stomachs, the extra stomachs assisting with digesting food. The giraffe calf can stand up and walk after about an hour, and after only 10 hours can actually run alongside their family. Within a week, it starts to sample vegetation. Giraffes use their hooves to get rid of predators. One kick is enough to kill the lion. Drinking is one of the most dangerous times for a giraffe. While it is getting a drink, it cannot keep a look out for predators and is vulnerable to attack. Giraffes sleep less than 2 hours a day. In general, they sleep with their feet tucked under them and their head resting on their hindquarters. but they can also sleep for short periods of time standing up. Giraffes and oxpeckers, tick birds, have symbiotic relationship. Oxpeckers are eating parasites on giraffes' body. It's food for them and giraffes are getting rid of parasites. Can you kiss a giraffe? Maybe you can. You will probably never get a chance to reach a giraffe's head unless you visit Nairobi Giraffe Center. At Nairobi Giraffe Center, you can kiss a giraffe. Yes, that's right. You can have a full-on snuggle with an endangered Rothschild giraffe. If you are lucky enough to meet a giraffe, you must know they don't like the heads being touched at all. So stay clear of patting the head of a giraffe. It's not a dog. You have been warned. That's all for today. Thanks for watching my clip. See you.